Hi, welcome to Ikate's Crossing as we look at today's message. So what today's message with the Supernatural Tarot? Let's have a look. Okay, today's cards, what do we got? First one we've got is death. Okay, death for me is about transformation, changes, sitting in that moment of silence or darkness and allowing yourself to know that there is a light. Coming through as you move through those changes. With the Temperance here, it reminds us to sort of be careful about how we react, making sure that we're not excessive in our actions, that we're not too extreme. We allow ourselves a sense of calmness. Serenity is really important, looking at how we deal with our emotions. With the Queen of Bones, I think it's very important that we're confident. We get a little bit of courage or confidence, allowing ourselves to be independent in our process to move through this energy here. It seems to be quite important that we're sort of dealing with our own passions, our creativity, allowing ourselves to be, again, I get that sense of being in silence, being allowed to have that sense of meditation, reflection. Again, I get that light at the end of the tunnel sort of energy, like you're moving through into a new day. I think you can find things moving quite quickly, though. I think you need to be very aware that things could be quite intense. With the Knight of Bones here, you've got that sense of things moving quite intensely in this process here. So let's sort of just take a moment to breathe. Take a moment of reflection as you think about how you're choosing to react as you move through these changes, these transformations coming in. How do you feel within yourself? I think it's very important to find that sense of independence that you have within yourself, knowing that the only person that can move through this process is you on your own. Okay, that's very, very important. It's important for you to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is some wisdom that you can gain, some knowledge that you can gain, even though things may feel quite intense as they sort of move forward quite quickly. You know, I think it's very important to sort of try and sort of keep yourself calm, keep yourself relaxed. Look at how you're choosing to react in the situation is really, really important. So, super, super important. So let's have a look at our Deep, Dark and Dangerous card here. Okay, let's just shuffle the cards. What card are we going to reflect on this way, or this today? What card are we going to reflect on? We've got more Malika with Service. Okay, so let's have a look at this. In Service, card number 22, which is interesting. So let's have a look and see what card 22 has to say. With more Malikia, with Service. Service does not mean servitude. Service should not be blind or bind you. Do not give your time to people who do not appreciate you. Justice will be done. The duality is service with servitude, misunderstanding and understanding. The more Malikia were female demons of the underworld associated with the goddess Hecate. The term can be translated to mean terrible wolves. There is confusion about what the Mormalikiae actually were. Many scholars believe they could be as benevolent as, say, the boogeyman used to scare children into being good, or completely at the other extreme, blood-sucking shapeshifters who preferred young men to eat. Remembering that dark goddess such as Hecate had their stories twisted for the negative once Christianity washed over the continent, the truth of the Mormalikia may have been somewhere in between. Hecate was said to have control over dogs and wolves, and that canines of all kinds barked when she was near. This alone would atone for the fact that Hecate may have had wolves or wolf-like creatures working with her. She may too have had demons, which were benevolent creatures, not demons, working with her to assist her in revenge. Or daemons. D-A-E-M-O-N-S, not D-E-M-O-N-S. Okay. Working with her to assist her in revenge or justice. These may have been terrible to look upon, or it may have been terrible to feel their wrath. If indeed Mormalekia were the monsters that were made out to be, these women who were vampires and took the form of beautiful seductresses, then their victims may not have been all love and light either. Not always is being of service easy. Not always is finding justice easy. Okay, the plant companion is Hellebora, and the crystal companion is Jasper, which we can dive into further if you want to. So Hellebora, Hellebore, and Jasper for the crystal. Okay. So service. So being in service, not a slave, not in servitude, not as a slave, but in exchange for energy of some sort. So that's sort of like being in balance in what you choose to do, how you choose to react. I think that's really important. Interesting. Okay. So how does service connect with this reading here? So if we're talking about, how we serve people, how we choose to react to the situation, or how we choose to give service, I think is really important, is that we're not expecting anything too much. And, I think you can be in service without giving too much of yourself away. Being confident, how you choose to react with the wisdom and knowledge. How much do you share of yourself? So I'm sort of trying to see how this would be when you're talking about service. So here we've got this transformation and changes taking place, and how we choose, trying to find a sense of calmness, serenity, tranquility, how we choose to react to the situation. With the Queen of Bones, you've got that sense of independence, that passion, that creativity, the sense of desires, that sexuality, the sense of independence, bold, dynamic energy going on here. With the sense of isolation, wisdom gained, meditation, reflection, as you move quite quickly with intensity, desires. Interesting reading there. There's some things to really think about when we're thinking about things being in service, and how we choose to react to the situation, making sure that we're not feeling like we're a slave to our emotions. Okay, not being a slave to our emotions, not being enslaved to what others expect of us. What's our expectations? We can be a slave to so much when we're thinking about this, being in service or being enslaved, being in servitude can be so much with our emotions, our desires, our passions. Are we doing this with conditions in many ways? And those conditions can enslave us to how we choose to react. Repeated patterns, bad habits, those sort of things. Interesting. Okay, that's given me something to think about. So that's it from me. Don't forget to check the links down below. Check the links on my channel. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. Take care. Blessed be.